Oh, hello, I didn't see you there. Let me take this opportunity to tell you about a book that I just read. It's called Fire in Paradise. It's a new book here at the library. And what drew me to this book was that I had heard about the terrible wildfires that had hit the town of Paradise, California a couple of years ago. I know it was a really devastating situation, and I was curious to learn more about it. And so another thing that had drawn me to this book was that I had seen some videos online on YouTube from people who were fleeing the fire, and I remember the videos being really apocalyptic and terrible. And so I just wanted to learn more about what happened there. And this book has two authors. They're both journalists. One of them writes for the Chico Enterprise Record, which is the local newspaper there in Chico, California, next to Paradise. And they both also write for The Guardian, so they're pretty renowned journalists, and they had a very well-rounded coverage of this event as it was happening. And they found that it was so compelling of a situation that they, a couple of news stories wasn't enough to cover the situation, so they wanted to compile it into a large book. So that's what the book generally is. It's a journalistic record of what happened, and also contains a lot of interviews and stories from people who were fleeing the fire and people who lost their homes and family members. In the end, I think there were 84 people that died, and the entire town was completely destroyed. This was a town of 27,000 people, just wiped off the map in about 12 hours. So a really catastrophic situation, and as the authors put it, in post-Civil War America, there has not been anything nearly so destructive that has ever happened in America since the Civil War. And I think that's a fair comparison. The amount of destruction that happened there was breathtaking, and it's definitely worth knowing about what happened and learning about it. And I found the book to be very enjoyable. It's sad, it's compelling. The stories are incredible. It's kind of a page-turner in terms of suspense. And there's a lot more beyond the book as well if you want to look up. There's a documentary on Netflix about the same fire, and of course there's all those YouTube videos that you can go see for yourself what it actually looks like for the people fleeing the fire. It's really a harrowing experience. And one more note about it that was really interesting for me personally was being in Haines in December and the disaster that we went through here. This mindset of how a community responds to a disaster was very fresh in my mind. And this book talks a lot about that same topic and about how Paradise responded to their disaster. And theirs was on a much larger scale, but it was very similar in a lot of ways. So I think it's very relevant, and I encourage you to go find it at the library.